In the quiet rhythms of everyday life, there are moments that feel simple to the world but seismic to the soul. For Ashley, Ogle and Sweet Guluva, this moment is exactly that. They are not just merging schedules or relocating belongings. They are stepping into a chapter defined by intimacy, trust, and intentional unity. Soon, they will share a home. Not as an experiment or convenience, but as a milestone that marks just how far they've come. They are preparing to live together. And in that decision lies a universe of emotion. Their story began as a flicker within the high-wattage world of Big Brother Mzansi. Among whispers and cheers, strategy and spectacle, two people found one another, not by accident, but through presence. It wasn't the kind of connection that needed explanation. From the moment Ashley and Sweet began to share space, it became clear their bond wasn't created for the cameras. It was a thread of something enduring, humming below the noise. Living together is more than physical closeness. It's trust made visible. It's choosing to build something with no curtain between the calm and the chaos. It's toothpaste caps, work shoes left by the door, late-night conversations in shared light. It's love that says, I want to know you when the world isn't watching. Ashley's decision to open her living space to Sweet speaks volumes, not in the volume of her voice, but in the clarity of her heart. She has always carried herself with grace and deliberation, never impulsive, never performative. So when she aligns her domestic rhythm with someone else's, it's not temporary, it's a vow. And for Sweet, the gesture is equally profound. To share a home with Ashley isn't just about proximity, it's presence. It's being where she begins and ends her day. It's witnessing her quiet mornings and late-night yawns. It's folding himself into the backdrop of her world, not to change it, but to cherish it. Together, they are preparing to breathe the same air, to fall asleep to the same silence, to wake up to the same sunlight falling through shared curtains. It's easy to think of this step as merely romantic. But romance is the shimmer. Commitment is the foundation. Ashley and Sweet aren't just affirming their affection. They're taking responsibility for each other's peace. They're agreeing to face one another day after day, not as idealized versions, but as whole, fallible people. Love doesn't always look like fireworks. It sometimes looks like changing the light bulb without being asked. Like cooking enough for two. Like learning the song of each other's footsteps in the hallway. Ashley and Sweet are not just becoming cohabitants, they're becoming witnesses. It's a kind of love that doesn't flinch at the mundane. Instead, they meet each other there, with soft humor and quiet gratitude. There will be moving boxes. There will be discussions about what art to hang on which wall. But beneath those logistics lies a sacred undercurrent. Two lives learning how to coexist without losing their own rhythms. Ashley will bring her quiet confidence, her routines, her sense of warmth and structure. Sweet will bring his laughter, his calm, his mindfulness. There will be moments that test patience. Days when moods are mismatched. But what separates them from the rest is how they listen. How they yield. How they say, we'll figure this out together. What they're building isn't just a shared apartment. It's a daily meeting place for care. Many step into shared spaces to fill a void or silence uncertainty. But not them. Ashley and Sweet have never rushed their choices. Their timeline isn't dictated by outside noise, but by internal peace. They are not moving in to fix cracks, but to lay new bricks. They are not trying to recreate magic, but to create new rituals. This is a decision made in daylight, with eyes open, with hearts ready. There is something courageous in moving toward one another without a mask. Home is many things. A place, a feeling, a person. For Ashley and Sweet, it is now all three. The idea of home will no longer be singular. It will be about hallway echoes, shared music, double portions of stew, and favorite spots on the couch. There will be candles that smell like lavender. A window both of them open on warm days. A cupboard with 2 sets of mugs. A single door but 2 keys. They're creating shelter not just from the outside world, but from loneliness, from miscommunication, from the kind of disconnection that creeps into modern love. They're declaring, "Here we belong." They have never had to convince anyone. Their affection doesn't beg to be believed. They are content living the kind of love that doesn't broadcast its every breath but is present in every heartbeat. Moving in together isn't a milestone for their followers. It's not content. It's life. And that's what makes it powerful. The world might hear about it only after the couch is already delivered, after the kitchen echoes with their shared laughter. Because their bond doesn't ask for attention, it asks for continuity. And that's exactly what they're giving it. Ashley and Sweet are not identical spirits, but they are harmonizing souls. She thinks forward. He lingers in the present. She holds grace like an heirloom. He offers peace like a song. In a shared apartment, these contrasts will dance. There will be one toothbrush always left out and one carefully stowed. One who double-checks locks and one who forgets where the keys are. But they'll laugh. They'll adapt. They'll learn. Because love is less about likeness and more about willingness. They're not trying to mold each other. They're learning how to hold space, big enough for both of them to be whole. Even in joy, reality remains. Life is unpredictable. There will be days when bills are overdue, when one is sick, when noise fills the hallway, when a harsh word slips. But this step, this cohabitation, means they've agreed to stay. Not to storm out when it's hard, but to lean in, to talk through the tough stuff, to remember why they started. Because every home has cracks. But cracks don't mean collapse. They mean there's sunlight finding its way in. And Ashley and Sweet have learned to grow toward that light. To some, it's a lease. To others, it's convenience. But to them, it's an altar. A place where 2 hopes light the same stove. Where dreams nestle on the same pillow. Where they face one another with unmade faces, unfinished thoughts, and still say, "I'm glad you're here." There is quiet power in waking up next to someone who knows your history but is committed to your future. Ashley's smile in the morning won't need makeup to be breathtaking. Sweet's voice won't need polish to be poetry. They'll be known and still loved. Ashley comes with a past, lessons, triumphs, and losses. Sweet arrives with his own wounds and wins. They're not leaving those at the door. They're bringing them in, not as baggage but as building blocks. Their apartment will hold laughter and tears, movie nights and disagreements, celebrations and silence. But above all, it will hold presence. Because being present is how love breathes. And they're choosing to breathe the same air. Their friends will visit. Some will bring plants. Others, prayers. They will notice the way Ashley and Sweet finish each other's stories, the way they remember each other's quirks, the calm that wraps the walls like incense. Visitors won't just find a beautiful space. They'll find a partnership worth celebrating. And slowly, the apartment will become more than walls. It will become a memory in progress. Whether it's Ashley's siblings dropping by for dinner or Sweet's relatives sharing stories in the living room, their home will carry more than their own voices. It will carry a shared heritage, an openness that reflects the values they both hold dear. Their future children, whether born or chosen, will hear in their walls the story of a love that grew not by chance, but by choice. They will feel its warmth. They will witness its resilience. This apartment may be their first home, but its echoes will live in every home after. Ashley Ogle and Sweet Guluva will soon live under one roof. Not to check off a relationship box. Not to impress. Not because the world expected it. But because this is their rhythm now. 2 heartbeats in sync, 2 lives ready to build, 2 souls ready to be seen every morning in the real light of love. This is not a new beginning. This is love continuing, with even more room to grow. Tell us where you watching from.